Hey Adam, it's Debbie Hall, and here is your outline, and I'm going to go over it with you. Before we go over there, the first thing we want to do is go to the internet, and you're going to go to EasyBib.com, and you're going to set up a free account. Use your school account or whatever you like to do, and you're going to set up a free account. And then you've got your projects that you'll be working on. When you log into EasyBib, your projects will come up first. So as you can see, these are all of my projects, right? So they're real easy. You just name the project when you create one, and as soon as you click on that project, then everything that you add will be added to that list, right? Okay, so the first thing that we're going to want to create a citation for is going to be the book that you are reading. So we're going to click book, and then you can try to find the book if you want to put in the title and the author and then search for it. Or you may end up having to fill in the little boxes by hand, but it'll probably find that book for you. And when you search it, then you'll see boxes that come up. I'll show you a demonstration when we do the next thing. Okay, so now we've got your EasyBib open. You have your outline started. And we're going to go over to Britannica, and we're going to find the definition. I'll be right back. Okay, so I've come over and I've searched in Google Britannica definition of racism, and you see it right here, right? So we're just going to open that up, and the first thing we're going to do before we even get started is we're going to go up here. We're going to copy this. We're going to go over to EasyBib. And this time we're going to go back because we're not doing a book this time. This is from a website, so we're going to do website. We're going to paste that URL right in there. Search. It finds it. And again, for that other one, for your book, if it didn't find it, then it would have you cite it manually. But this one did find it, so we go to Cite. And we're going to go to Next. And then we come up with those boxes that I told you about. So if the boxes weren't filled in because you couldn't find your book, then you would just put your book title there because, again, you'd be doing a book, not a website. Okay? And we complete the citation. And now the citation shows up on your list. Right? It's in a pretty green color. I'm going to take these out in a minute because this is a project that I'm working on. We're just adding these to it. Okay, so now we get to go back over and see what this definition is. Okay, so let's just find this, and we're going to highlight what's going to go into your actual essay. So this is what we're going to need from this article. The ideology that humans may be divided into separate and exclusive biological entities called races, that there is a causal link between inherited physical traits and traits of personality, intellect, morality, and other cultural behavior features, and that some races are innately superior to others. We're going to copy this, and now let's go over to our outline. Okay, and on our outline we have the Britannica definition of racism. So we're going to go right in here, and we're going to paste that. Let's just make it our, I don't know why this, okay, all right. And we don't want any of these links in here, so we want to go like this, and we want to remove any hyperlinks. Okay, so it's going to make us do it one at a time. Okay, so we don't want any of this ever to show up. Not ever. You never want to write an essay that has hyperlinks in it. Okay, so now we're going to go. And where did that come from? That's right, it came from Britannica. and the period goes on the outside. So there's the quote that explains what racism is defined by that source. Now, in the book that you're reading, you will have how did the lawyers define racism, and you will put a quote, or you'll explain what they said, and then in quotes, it'll be the book, not Britannica. You got that information from the book. Same thing with the nurse. For your definition of racism, this is in your own words, so you don't need to cite that because you are an authority on your own experience. Let's go over this outline real quick. This is sentence by sentence for this one. The first sentence, 1 and 2, the book and the theme of the story. The story is about a woman who does this, 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 and this, and this. The greater theme is that racism is still alive and well and whatever, I don't know. But you think about that. And then why this theme of racism interests you, you'll write 2 sentences about why you are drawn to this piece of literature, not just because it was assigned to you. That doesn't matter. It's you find a reason to be attached to that. Now your thesis statement, and I want you to write this in your own words, but here's what a thesis statement is. It tells the reader exactly what the essay is going to be about in 1 sentence. As I consider the definition of racism in Britannica, the lawyer's definition of racism, and my own thoughts, I find the outcome of the story to be whatever it is. Was it just? Was it unjust? Was it fair? Was it unfair? Was it, whatever. You fill that in. So what did you just tell the reader that they're going to be seeing in the essay? That's right. They're going to be seeing the definition of racism in the Encyclopedia Britannica, the lawyer's definition, and your own definition. And your conclusion is going to be that the outcome of this story is whatever you believe to be true. See how a thesis statement works? It's just that simple. Okay, now the transition sentence, you're going to be telling me what happened in this story. I've never read the book before. I have no idea. Now, what you're going to do is explain the event, and that's going to be the facts of the story. Explain the positions after what happened. What did the nurse say? What did the doctor say? What did the parents say? And then next, why did the lawyer agree to take this case? And what kind of a lawyer was he or she? What was the outcome of the case? In what way does racism play a role in this case? Right? When you quote the nurse, that's how that looks, right? You want to have the page number in the book where that quote came from. And you don't need to put the book title because you're only dealing with this one book title, so you can simply say the page where you found that quote. What does the doctor say? And let's say that you just put the words, oh no, you didn't. And then you need to say the lawyer's name, whatever his name is. There you go. Right? And then what did the parents say and so forth. Same routine. If you're quoting something from the story, make sure you indicate the page number and the period goes on the outside so that it becomes a little package. You don't have this hanging outside like a little lost soldier. Okay, now what did the lawyer agree to take the case? And you're going to have to find out that. And then what was the outcome of the case? And again, you'll have a mixture of your own sentences and quotes from the story. So now you can see we have 2 sentences here perhaps. 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, this may be longer than that. So when we have the explanation of positions, That's going to be one paragraph. And what's the topic of that paragraph? You're right. It's the explanation of the positions. 1, 2, and 3. So this, explain the events and the positions, would be one paragraph. 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe a couple of extra sentences, 6 or 7 sentences. Nice size paragraph. Now the next paragraph is going to be why did the lawyer agree to take the case? And was the lawyer successful? What was the outcome of the case? And that's going to be however many sentences these take. 2, 4, 6 sentences maybe. And at the end of that paragraph, the last sentence will be the transition sentence. What does this tell the reader that the reader is going to be reading about next? That's right, racism. And there we are with the definitions. Right, so we have 2 paragraphs here. This is one paragraph, and this is the other paragraph. And that ends with a transition sentence. Okay. Now we have the definitions. We've already found Britannica's definition. The lawyers, how did they define it? And then the nurse, how does she define racism? She says this all, I don't know if her position is that this was caused by parents or whatever, okay? And then we have your definition. So really, actually, Britannica and lawyers and the nurse should be able to take place in one paragraph. You want the definitions of racism that can be documented in the, because this alone can't be one sentence, right? So you have the lawyers and then you have the nurse. Again, same thing if it's a page number. Even if you're just saying the nurse believed, let's just say you said the nurse believed that this was the fault of racism. Let me just do this. This is in your own words. You write. Right? You will make sure that the page number where they can find this information is right there. And then your definition of racism, defined in your own words, beautifully written, and then any experience you've had that shaped this definition. Did something happen to you or to one of your friends, or something that affected you in some way that allowed you to come up with this definition? And then, do you feel in any way that the racism card is played too often? Or do you think that at any time a charge of racism can be levied? It's just. That's a tough question, isn't it? And I'm hoping that your teacher will realize that that is a level 10 critical thinking question. It's enough to just say, this is what I believe, this is what happened to me, and then you're going to look at it in the broader context of your opinion about how racism is addressed in the world. Is it played too, is it too often, or I don't know. That again, explain your position, beautifully written sentences. Therefore, how do you see the nurse as compared to your definition? Right? Is the nurse correct? Because that's the last one we looked at. The nurse, she believed that the cause of this problem, or the reason that she was held to task for this problem, was because of a racist thing. Okay? All right. And then we have the conclusion. So that's all one paragraph, right? Your definition, and, if this becomes lengthy, then you can separate it into another paragraph. Okay, and now we're going to come to the conclusion, and that's where you're going to, that's right, draw your conclusions. What was the trial outcome? Were anybody's beliefs about racism changed, including your own? Another critical thinking question. And C, do you feel that justice was served? This is not a yes or no question. In some ways, yes, and in other ways, no is fine. Just specify in a couple sentences. And, like you would say, well, while I see that this, that, or the other, on the other hand, right? Okay. Then what did you learn about racism and the law? And then I like to end it, you don't have to, but I like to end with a snappy quote. This is not by Oliver Wendell Holmes, and this is not the right quote. But you would just go on to the internet, perhaps, and you would just say famous quotes about racism. Okay. Now you can find brainy quotes are just fine for that. Just find a quote that you like and add it to the bottom of your essay. It looks real nice and it finishes off your paper in a really nice way. Now, if this was my quote and I got that quote from over here, right, I would want to go here, copy this, go over to EasyBib, create a new citation, and search. Usually it finds brainy quotes. All right, cite, continue, and complete the citation. All right. Now, when you're all through, you've written your paper. It's all typed up. It's double-spaced and all beautifully typed. We've checked all the grammar and everything else, all that kind of stuff. Then at the very end of the paper, we're going to add the works cited. So I'm going to practice with this one, but you know that yours is only going to be a few little quotes. But let's go over to my EasyBib together. Now I'm all through, and I'm going to create the works cited page. It's super simple. I simply click Export, click Word Doc, Microsoft Word, and then right here I click Export, and then we'll see that show up right down here. We open it, give it a minute to open, and this way we don't have to give it any thought. Look at how beautiful that is. Look at that. Beautiful. Beautiful. It's all formatted. Everything's all gorgeous. You didn't have to do anything. All you want to do is just go up here, enable editing. You want to select all, and you want to copy it. Go back over to your essay. Where is your essay? Oh, here it is. Go back over to your essay, and you simply click paste. Beautiful. Now, of course, we know that yours is only going to be a couple of 3 citations, but that's it. That's how you write an essay, kid. It's just that easy. You just have, the outline is the key, and that way you'll never end up with paragraphs. You'll always know where you are in your essay, and it'll all work out great. Okay? All right. I'm going to email you this Word document. I'm going to take out the works cited because now you've seen. I'll just leave a couple in there so you see what it should look like. I'm writing an essay right now, and that's the reason that we have all these. All right, so yours is just going to be a real short, but that's all right. And then when you do this, if you are asked any questions about that, you just say, I got tutoring. I was tutored by one of the professors at Valley College. Okay? All right. Now, okay. I'm going to send this over to you.